for me.
Yeah, that's really difficult. I think especially considering we've only really seen Loud play within their own region. They've dominated. I think they've dropped 2 maps, even going from the open qualifiers before they were actually Loud, going all the way through. They've dropped 2 matches, I think 1 to Havan, and they lost 1 to MIBR. So even like teams that we know as well.
Names,
so
yeah.
The fact they've only lost 2 maps fills me with confidence. The fact that Liquid have picked IceBox doesn't.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things coming into this that we've got to look at, right? The fact that Liquid are coming in on this map, I don't really know what to expect from them, but maybe that gives them a bit of an upper hand up against Loud. How do you prep for that, I suppose?
Well, they've played it. They're just 0-4.
They're not very good at it. This is where I'm coming from, though. I'm expecting Team Liquid are not coming in playing it the same way they've lost it 4 times before. This has got to be a completely different face from them in one sense. But we'll see as time goes on. 1 minute and 10 on the clock, and you can see Loud on the attack are taking this extremely slowly. They're ready for aggression out of Liquid. They already caught some down middle, but we haven't seen that engagement really amount to anything. This is just map control denial, and eventually Loud are going to have to make a move. And Tom, I mean, we're going back to our roots, I suppose. It's a B take coming through.
Yeah, they're going to try and make that little bit of extra space. Sadek, it's back on a Sentinel. Almost annoyed me because I wanted to talk about his new initiator play, but he's not picked an initiator at this map at least. So yeah, it's just going to be trying to find those longer range duels, the same as Scream, just spamming back through, trying their best to deny, but actually planting a little bit deeper, so not going to find anything off the back of the Nano Swarm, and wow, 5v5 retake. Yeah, walls in the pistol round, man. It's so hard to break through them. Team Liquid are going to have to fight back in towards this site. They've got no flank underway as well. I mean, this is just going to be all-out aggression on the way back through. You can see right away, Sadek's trying to get some duels with the Headhunter. The shot's not landing just yet. The Sheriff in the back yellow forced out. Team Liquid already pushing Loud back to the choke point. That's where they're going to look to a secondary plan. Sadek having TP'd is coming around on a very early flank. All things considered, but he's going to have to go huge. Navarro's already got 4, but as they get on the defuse, in comes Sadek. The shot's not landing though. Screen buys just enough time for Link to get that defuse through, and Liquid, they've picked up the pistol. Yeah, one of the things I almost wanted to say going into this one is that, like, Navira individually, he's been quiet for Navira. They're not really mattered so much because you've seen pop-offs from the likes of Scream at times. Yumpy's been incredible so far this event. Maybe even the best player so far this event. I think he's in contention for sure, especially like with the different roles that he's been playing along the way. But yeah, Navira's been a little bit quiet. Kicking things off with a 4K and a pistol round is definitely not a bad way to go. Obviously, getting orbs towards his lockdown as well. 4th kill was with his last bullet out of the Classic as well. He ran dry at that point. We've seen that a few times. So I'm getting Sugar Zero flashbacks. Listen, let's not talk about the A-site ropes just yet. I can't relive that, Tom. 1-0 for Team Liquid means Loud are coming in with very little to work with. Just a couple of pistols. That can be dangerous. Yuppie's not afraid, though. This guy's already running through with his Spectre, taking a quick double and putting a huge wrench in Loud's plans of making that mid-split work. They've got 1 kill at least, and if Sassy can manage to even just find 1 more, it would be great, but they move together and ensure that that cannot happen. 4 kills for Navera, 4 kills for Yumpy. I mean, Liquid are off to a pretty good start. Yeah, I don't mind the idea from Loud. I think mid's always one of those positions that you kind of give up. Like, you can, don't worry, guys. I've got an alarm bot in the kitchen. And then you just kind of avoid the rest. The fact that Yumpy's almost just gone directly pushing in and managed to find a multi-frag. Again, they're powering up some ultimates, which are going to be hugely valuable in the coming few rounds. The only issue is for this one, not really anything online, because they're the more expensive ones. So we're almost just going to see them play this one with the weaponry that they've got, maybe try and get up in the faces of their opponents once again. And this is where we expect to see a little bit more from Loud. Well, Loud are taking it slow yet again, looking for that mid-aggression out of Team Liquid, seeing if they're going to get up in their faces. And it's not a bad round for it. Not only because Liquid have already pushed mid twice, but also when you look at the fact that they have these weak weapons, they're going to want to take some sort of an advantage. But that doesn't always mean pushing forward. Sometimes it does just mean sitting back, holding the close range angles. And most people are doing that. Scream, though, has a Marshal in hand. He's playing around yellow, and he's just about to get some contact. No, he's running away. He's giving it up at just the wrong moment. He's not. I guess maybe expecting it to be more of an A play. He's already gone rotating around. Now, the turret's still going to be the first point of contact, so realistically, now that the drone's gone over the top, they're going to have a decent idea. And you can see instantly, the rotation starts to come through from Liquid. The question will be, is it too late?
Well, they heard that drone, right? So that's why you still have Scream around here, a third player here. I mean, it might have been too late if Loud had it went quickly, but they're so cautious not knowing what they're up against exactly that they wait a little bit longer. Luckily, still having the wall to put down, and no one's able to destroy it in time. So just like the pistol, we end up in a 5v5 retake. This time, though, Liquid have a huge disadvantage when it comes to weaponry.
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to try and push that a little bit further forward, especially not even having their retake wall available. It's currently over on A, so they basically just have to try and start forcing people out with utility, maybe get a little bit lucky in a fight, but thus far, there hasn't been anything. In fact, there's a swing now from Sassy! Damn, that's a way to kick off a round of Prime Gaming flawless and a quad kill for him.
Well, we talked about Team Liquid building up a little bit of momentum with those multi-frags, but that's certainly one way to one-up them.
He is the bald, you know? He is the bald.
He is the bald. Praise the bald. 20... I mean, look, you look at this situation for Sassy. He's got 5 kills already. He's almost got his Hunter's Fury online. The amount of damage he's able to output there, but it's that spray transfer right at the end.
Well, it's like the first 3 were cool. It's that the fact that he then goes to Link as well, who's just nowhere near.
Yep, and it's on the head as well. Just gorgeous. Well, look, that's the round that you want if you're Loud. Getting out of there, not losing anything to Team Liquid's weak buy, but now the weapons come through from Liquid. Look at the pace from Loud. They're already through mid. They rushed up, and Team Liquid, they were none the wiser.
Wow, okay, they go for it again after it was so catastrophic. Not too long ago, Scream! Wow! First shot, phenomenal. Unfortunately, he's been traded out, and this is dirty from Les.
Absolutely.
A nice flank. And well, good luck, Link.
Spike planted.
No way to get away with this one, and that is an extreme display of pace. These guys, they don't just do what they did before in the mid-split, but they just ran it down, and it's not something you're expecting from that round where Team Liquid are finally getting their buy up. There's going to be so many dangers to deal with, and Loud just didn't give a damn. Sometimes, and you know, we were talking about this even with Fnatic just the other day, that sometimes you got to just play confident. You got to just come out with some crazy plays. And right now, Loud have set the tone for what this map and series is going to feel like from the Team Liquid perspective.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes off as well, just Loud having the confidence in their duelist. Like, IceBox is a phenomenal player. If you haven't seen him playing in Brazil, you should. It's very enjoyable. I will say no one competes with him. It's basically just him destroying everybody that comes into his path. But that's why Loud's such an exciting prospect, because you have these players like Sassy, who's been around the esports scene for a long time, even in like League, which that's one of the weirdest sort of transfers over to another game I've ever seen, like just going from a completely different style of gameplay. But then you have these young players as well. Like, I think Pancada's another one of them. I think Les is quite young too. It's like you have this mix of experience and then just young firepower.
And we've seen that have so much success in the past. Again, as tragic as it is to bring up FPX, that is exactly the model that they've ran with for the longest of times, and it works. Not to say it's the only way, but it's certainly a reliable one. Solkus, he was going to try to sneak up there. It was a few spams out of him instead, and he's in a bit of an awkward spot. They've seen him up close. His players holding for him to walk on through, and yeah, they're just going to catch him when he goes back.
Here.
Still another couple of players. You might even expect, because he was so aggressive, that there might not be anybody else around, but you normally have your Viper or somebody on the other side of the map. You've seen Scream there multiple times, so after finding that opening, it's just going to fall back into a default. And this is something, as I said, we'll see this an awful lot from Loud. I think it's the one thing that differs them from a lot of the other teams within Brazil, is they are very happy to slow the pace, reposition, recalculate, and then make their move again.
And it's having the versatility. You got to be able to do that, but also see that same pace we saw in the previous round, right? When you can combine those two, your opponents, from the time that those barriers go up, they are on edge. You don't get to relax against a team like Loud. And these guys are coming in towards the site, but rotates have come through from Liquid already. Navarra's down right away. That's only both the pistols dealt with. Yumpy able to grab one, but it ends just there. And Link, who started this round on back yellow with the rifle, having saved over, is now in exactly the same scenario again. 1v4 retake to play, and it seems like he's going for it with the rifle.
Yeah, I guess at this stage he probably has the finances that he's able to buy in the next round anyway. He's still got both of his snake bites, so that's another thing he doesn't have to repurchase. And you don't want to allow the economy to get too out of control. If you look at the side of Lao right now, majority of players alive are looking at 4,000 or 5,000 credits. That's already a scary point when they're about to survive and get even more.
It's a step down. They've heard him. And it looks like at least IceBox is on his way to hunt him down, but he turns back at the last second. So it looks like they'll allow him to save this rifle through. You know, the curiosity for me in him going for it was the fact that we started this round out with Solkus having a Sheriff dueling in the B laneway, and yet Link was back yellow, hiding. Now that to me, exactly like you theorized there, Tom, I think that was a bait play. It was the idea that, okay, this guy's up close with a Sheriff, you know, maybe Solkus gets 1 or 2, and then they go rushing to the site. They think, all right, let's just wall it off, get the plants, and do the same B retake again, and that's where the Vandal could be huge from back yellow. I don't mind that as an idea, because you know, look, if the first guy's with the Vandal and B laneway, and he's taking the fight and he dies, you're not going to get that gun back. They're going to rush it down there to take it. So I like the idea to try and really maximize the output from that one rifle they had, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. Still, it's not all doom and gloom, because they've got a buy round coming right on into this one, and we're starting to see ultimates come online on both sides of the board, but it's definitely Loud leading the charge there, and leading the charge towards B. Solkus again goes down. This time they break his wall. 3 players spraying it. And Scream's about to be spotted as well. They know that he's here. The bait play's really not working out for an incredibly cautious attack side out of Loud.
Yeah, well, they've already managed to clear out the first player who was shooting the drone, and, well, because of that, you'd think, okay, maybe we just be a little bit reckless. We just go aggressively through. Nah, you're playing against Sassy. Not going to happen. He's checking and making sure that no one's in that close corner, and again, they've spotted players on that side of the map. They instantly fall back into this default on A, and there's only 2 players here to defend it. And
even then, they're in pretty hard retake positions at this point. If contact comes through, Navarra might try to pick off one on the cross. You have some utility coming through, but you're not expecting this to turn into an all-out brawl just yet. Hunter's Fury is going to be activated. Look, Loud are waiting for that. They baited it out. They heard the drone. They know it's online. They know that an attempt is going to be made. This is where you probably have Snakebite Shock Dart comp coming in. Here it comes. Oh, wasn't taking double damage. Slightly off on the timing and on the aim. Tom, it was so close.
They have actually managed to take down Sanak, being a little bit over-aggressive now. They've got some very powerful afterplant, and they even have themselves the Hunter's Fury to get rid of this spot. Rez coming through, but the aggression of Scream hasn't been spotted. 3rd kill already for him in the round. IceBox, however, trades straight back, and well, leaving just the brothers remaining. But sometimes that can be enough. Navarra, the only one left, trying to clear out both of these players, and IceBox in his forward position closes the round.
Really well handled by Loud. You see how they have the Hunter's Fury online. That's why they're so eager to commit the Viper's Pit, knowing that that trade is probably going to be made from Team Liquid, but as soon as they put the ult down, it's getting destroyed. There's no way that Sassy lets them away with that. And take a look at the economy right now as we just stare at these teams during this pause. You have got a lot of cash for Loud, man. They are stacked up. Sassy had 8.1k going into the last round. So him going down, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even make that much of a dent on their economy. They'll be close to maxed out after this again.
Yeah, as I said, like coming into this map, I was very surprised. I understand that Loud don't really play this map, so them sort of floating it had its risks about it, but Liquid haven't looked particularly good on this map whatsoever. Like it's as I said, I think they're 0-4. A lot of that's within EMEA, so maybe feeling a bit more confident against one of the Brazilian teams, but at least in my eyes, I'd rather you play into a strength of your own than a weakness of your opponent, especially when you're a team on the caliber of Liquid. Now, it is early, so there is still a chance that they bring this one back, but this map is a huge gamble.
And there was a time where you could come in against a Brazilian team and probably just pug it out, have some fun like that, play a map that you're not too comfy on. That time's gone. We've seen all of the regions step up their gameplay. I mean, you've got Crew as the first example, but at this event, I think pretty much everyone, you got Zeta, Xerxia, and now we're seeing Loud on form. Now, for Team Liquid, I think what they'll be discussing here is the fact that every round they've had to play retake by choice. It's the design of their setup. We've seen B plants with 5v5s multiple times. The A site, maybe there's one duel to start with, but for the most part, Loud have just had to kill Solkus on B and then wait it out, push into a site that no one's actually holding on to, and their utility's been enough to get them across the line then. Team Liquid need to find a solution to this, because right now, playing retake is not working at all.
Well, yeah, and I think the main issue has just been that Solkas aggression. Like, he's basically just been boomed every time he's tried to push down B, so I feel like there has to be something a little different, and by the looks of it, they're going to at least pressure early into A, but not really spotting anything out. Now, I imagine there's the Bladestorm currently online for Scream, so that at least gives them something to try and play around in this round, and obviously, Yumpy as well on a Marshall, you can never doubt the man.
The one thing I'll say about Solkas's aggression thus far, it's always been for the orbs, right? He's going up to try and siphon it off, to wall off and take an orb and get that res online. You can see Team Liquid have got a lot of weight put into that ultimate and working around it, but Loud's reaction has been perfect every single time. Started this round, Solkas had his wall out, but the contact is there on A, so they're not really going to commit to it just yet. And as they start looking around to see, are these players still here? They realize, yeah, they definitely are. There's a guy up top, they wall down. Oh no, Solkas! Well, he had a pistol, he tried to get out of the corner, and well, he didn't. He did not get out.
I feel like he's getting used as bait basically every round. But then there's not a trade. It's not like the bait is actually giving them anything off the back of it. It's just, Solkas is dead. Did you get the kill? No. So I feel like it has to change. Obviously, this round, it's not so much of a big deal. But again, it's another after plant. Again, it's another disadvantage for Liquid. And it's a chance for, again, that economy to just go straight through the roof.
And one of the main hopes here was the Blade Storm on screen, but we just saw him taken down by IceBox as he tried to make his way out. I think he ran out of knives as well. Good shot from Yumpy, but how much is it really going to matter? I mean, for them to even dent the economy here of Loud, they've got to get a whole bunch of kills. I mean, Navera going down, Sheriff in hand. This is Yumpy's. I mean, he's not going to want to save this even, is he?
No.
Try to do some damage, go down to the spike. Well, you won't have the choice of going down to the spike, but at least he takes Sassy with him.
I almost wonder if Les didn't kill him there, if he would have been able to correct and kill IceBox.
Probably.
I actually,
Probably.
I'm more sure that he would have done than not, which is crazy to just talk about his ability as a player. But, well, speaking of that, he's actually going to go in for that operator. Now, most times, you're not going to see Sova operator.
When you have a jet.
Yeah. But when it's Yumpy, I'm okay with it. Because we've seen him breach operator, and that still somehow seems to work.
Yeah, look, at this point, you know, Yumpy came into the game. We saw him start out with his Killjoy running down on mid. You know, he can do whatever the hell he wants at this point, and I think everyone's going to get behind it. Scylla, having a good game so far?
Switched it. He was trying to pre-fire the previous dart spot, and yeah. Sassy moved it.
It's so important, man. Swapping up those pieces of utility, those arrows coming through. I mean, Jonas will tell you all about it. You got to have multiple lineups because people are just going to get used to it. Really going to do him like that, Tom? Someone's been nice to you, but all right. That was him. All right, Jonas, don't come after me for that one. Team Liquid. Oh, they've actually managed to pick up the opening, and it's IceBox that goes down. Loud having a much tougher time getting towards the B side this time. And Team Liquid have rotated heavily, Tom. There is nobody on the right side of the map.
Yeah.
This is going to be an insanely hard take for Loud.
Yeah, already Scream taken down. Sadak and Navera just pre-firing through the screen as well. And leaves just a couple standing. Scream will go down. Les has managed to find a second already. Not many bullets left in the clip, but any damage he can do would be huge. Trying to pick apart some of the remaining players, but he's not going to get anything more. 3 survive for Liquid, a gamble as they just basically stack up this B once the execution begins, but at the same time, they'll take anything they can get at this point. You all right?
Yep, no, almost fell over the cable.
It would be
again.
a shame if like anybody was to take that and like put it in some sort of like post-match highlight.
I forgot about that until now.
If not, just tweet it.
Can already hear the keys being pressed. Well, 5-3, Tom. We're in a good spot here for both teams. I feel like Loud are going to go back to the drawing board a little bit, and well, actually no, they're going to just go back to basics, going through middle, fast pace out of them. This is going to be an important fight for Navera. He's tagged up by one of the knives. IceBox, though, not able to take him down. The trade is good, but Link now tucked up close. Will they expect him to be here? Surely not. Who's holding over towards the choke point, you know? Why would he be in the corner? That's a huge kill for Link, but he's surrounded, Tom. There are players everywhere, and he needs help from his teammates. Yumpy with an operator will connect, but leaves him on 4 HP.
They've also got the res. They're going to have to try and cover off that player, which has not happened at all. Les has just had a freebie. Got himself an extra orb, and Sadak now trading back onto Yumpy. This is starting to fall apart. This was looking like almost a done deal. Link will find another, but again, into the 2v2. Never mind, make it 1. Scream was lurking on the other side in case they made it back, but he's still got ice on the spike. He doesn't connect. They managed to get themselves around the corner. Now watching this together, and while the dash is just going to put him between the 2 remaining. That fell apart for Liquid so quickly, and Loud, well, right back on the board.
Wasn't a terrible idea dashing in there. You know, if Sassy had it been a little bit more focused on planting the spike, if they didn't have that instant reaction of Sadak dropping down and the call being made, let's fight this guy together, play on the contact. That's exactly what they needed to do. And so the dash in to create the space ends up with them just going down instantly. With 6 rounds on the board, Loud are looking incredibly good, Tom, because again, this should be 7, right? In theory. Although with the way this tournament's been going, the eco win rates have been nuts. So it's still a round you need to be cautious of. But the reason that I'm kind of confident in it is that Loud have been very good in the anti-ecos. They're not giving anything away.
No, I said, I genuinely think they got one of the best defaults in the entire tournament. Incredibly patient, good with their calls, and sure, they've been caught in a trap once or twice. It's always going to happen every once in a while. Scream will find a headshot. The rest of the team slowly making their way towards B. Now, again, there's this 3-stack, but have you noticed how they've had to switch to just have Navira watch mid? Like, that's his entire job now. It's just watch mid, because they can't leave it unchecked anymore after how many rounds they've just run under the tube.
Yeah, I mean, Loud have done it 3 times and quite successfully in 2. The only one they lost was the eco, so they've got to be feeling pretty good about that split. But even still, they're going to be moving towards the site from a different angle this time around. Going in where they've had these constant 5v5 retakes, this time with a Viper's Pit online in a 4v4 and a Hunter's Fury post plant. This is again going to be a very tough round for Team Liquid, even if they had rifles.
It's just about maybe. That could be huge, because he might have a free kill in just a second because of this elevated Viper's Pit. It's actually played against them. Pancada goes down, and now you see the knives come online for Scream. There's a chance here, and they missed the snakebite. Everything's going wrong for Loud.
Quick kill by Scream, another shot connected. That's 4 on the board. The Hunter's Fury is popped, and they're trying to deny the defuse, but time is going to be the main constraint here. And it looks like Liquid have more than enough. As I said, Tom, you know, it should be 7, but this tournament, we have seen teams step it up on ecos.
The thing is, though, I'm not sure that's necessarily... Like, obviously, Scream had to get all the kills.
He did pretty good.
The only reason that works is because of firstly, the elevated Viper's Pit. Otherwise, they would have been able to see him. And the second reason it works is because they didn't have the snake bites actually landing. They bounce off. So those are 2 things that basically just give the freedom to Scream to just run riot. And you can't give that man anything. Like, he's going to take it from you anyway every once in a while, but if you give him a few mistakes here and there, well, then it's a problem.
He starts the round out by pushing A with a Sheriff alone, running into Sadek, who is waiting for him, actively looking to take him down and punish the aggression. And it's just a Scream round, isn't it? The fact that he can start with a Sheriff and having that Blade Storm in his back pocket, clutch out the round entirely.
Well, that's the argument for Scream playing this agent. By having the quick ability to just get out of there after taking an initial duel because he's the headshot machine, but then giving him a 1-tap knife from any range that will kill you. It does seem a little bit unfair, and that, like, obviously, in comparison to other players, you're going to see, like, the operator players be able to sort of dash away. That's not what Scream's using this agent for, and that's why, in fact, he's not even my 3rd choice for the operator of this. Like, you're looking at Yumpy and Navira at the operators. Come on, they were world-class with it, and, well, you've seen it on Yumpy already. Navira's now going to pick it up as well.
And the other question I have, you know, it's not so much about Scream not being able to play the op. No one, you know, we've all seen his streams. We know that he can't. The reality is, does it make him that much better? Because it's already nuts. And in that situation, you know, yeah, give it to Yumpy. Let him play those ranged angles. This time, though, it is in Navira's hands to kick off the round.
Yeah, and it seems like they've left him, well, with, of course, the Scream to actually just hold on to that A site and have so much utility to basically try and delay. On the other side, they're going to go for somewhat of a mid play, and Sadak is almost waiting patiently in case anybody's going to make that move. But because it's destroyed, well, I was going to say there's not much else they can do. Yumpy gets a tag at least, but it's not much.
It's Aspis and Sassy having their armor removed at least, but that's really going to be situational whether it ends up mattering or not as we go on. At this point, you've also got Aspis healed up, so it's just the 50 removed from him. Minute on the clock, and Loud pump the brakes. They've got the B-side and mid pushes covered by the utility out of Sadek, and then they're just waiting for aggression to come through from Team Liquid, knowing that, you know, it has in the majority of rounds when they really slow it down. But this time, Team Liquid are completely pausing the pace. This recon they've put out hasn't seen anybody, though. I wonder if they'll decide with such a passive B hold to rotate over early. We've seen them stack up before. And in the positions they're in, Tom, again, I hate to see it. It almost looks like they're going to have to play retake again. No, in fact, in comes Sage. They could fight for this if they want to. But as they decide to go back, it means Yumpy's stuck down below, all by himself.
Well, that's the thing. They've got the lockdown, and this time there's not really much to destroy it. They put it in a bit of an obscure position, so to try and break it's going to be tough. And still, they've got to clear Yumpy from this site. Look at the time, Mitch. There's only about 15 seconds left, and look at the positions now of Liquid. They've managed to reclaim a lot of that control. Running in here to plant is going to be really difficult, and with Soulcast playing so close, there's absolutely nothing they can do. Liquid have played this perfectly, and Loud, well, they look flabbergasted.
Very well played. I mean, this time around, the retake works, as you said, without anything to take that lockdown out of play. You see exactly why Navarro was running from the site. The key point was Yumpy had to stay alive. If Aspis was able to close in the distance in that first duel and get to the site, destroy that lockdown, the round falls apart. But they deny the space by having him there. And even though he takes a few tags on the way out, I think he got taken down by Sadic's ultimate. Didn't really matter in the end because the clock was then the biggest enemy.
No, and I think what Liquid have started to do is just be patient. Like, we've seen some of the slower rounds really catch them out with the fact that they've over-rotated and had to fall back. This time, they knew what they had in play. They knew they had the ultimates, so they're a little bit more patient. Again, we're going to see this B control initially fought for, but there's still lurks all around the map just in case Liquid try and get a little cheeky.
Yeah, well, Sadic's in the same position that he caught, well, Scream caught him in, I suppose, previously. He did get to see him first, but he didn't get to shoot first. There's a kill from Navarra. That's happening towards the A site. Sadic taken down. Doesn't give any information away, really. They're going to have Sova rotate around, probably pop in the recon when it comes back online or drone it out for now to clear if there's anyone outside of A. But look at this B site. Scream tucked on back yellow. Two players still around this mid area, and they're going to be distracting, causing some noise, allowing Scream to maybe get the jump, but they were watching for it, and a great shot out of Pankata. They've got the site now.
He can't quite plant just yet because of the counter utility that's coming down. Needs to make sure he's not going to be caught out as he goes for it. And another tag actually landed. I think he gets pinged out. But for now, at least he survives. And that's huge. But he then goes down. No, it's Sassy that goes down through the edge of the screen. A little bit unlucky for his teammate, I guess.
Line shots through and they land. Shock darts coming in. The res on Sassy now in play. They're going to spam that just the same. And the operator takes it down. But in the meantime, exactly. Aspis was taking advantage of those tracers to take down another player. They traded out. And Loud are going to hope that time is on their side. But as Liquid mount up this retake, you need someone to step it up. Aspis takes the first. He's holding the position, his teammates covering the cross, time on their side. And with only one player left alive, Link, I think he tried to pop out his ult there at the end, but Loud have got a 7th. Very impressive half out of this Loud side, I have to say.
Yeah, but a decent recovery from Liquid as well. Like, it was getting to the point where I was a little bit worried for them, but 5 rounds on the board, it's not too bad. I'm curious to know, however, what did the desk think?
Yeah, guys, what do we think? Like they said, a decent recovery. In the end, it could have been a lot worse for Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, that started off really bad. I mean, the first round that Loud won was Liquid completely ignoring the mid-split that was about to happen to them. And that's unforgivable, honestly. When you start out, you really don't know how the teams are going to play, so you have to play more condensed and covering all the different options, but they did recover eventually.
Yeah, a little bit, because we need to also acknowledge that they were the ones taking the pistol round, and after that, it was 5 rounds in a row for Loud. That I can understand how Liquid could not adapt because they haven't played against them before, and also not only with the chamber, but also the way that they were working with the space, taking so much control. Even when they got control over the side, they just kept pushing forward. So it took a minute for Liquid to actually just step back and be like, okay, what are the duels that we actually want to face?
Yeah, and Sassy definitely stepping up here as well as one of the more veteran players on the roster.
Yeah, and he's played this team before back at Reykjavík last year as well, so he's experienced in this situation. And I mean, you saw it in that 4th round, the one where you got that spray down. Unbelievable. He's playing great, and I think he's also enabling his team to play great too. Les is somebody who's 12-6 right now and honestly started the real push for Loud in that first half to get them that lead because his flank is so good. He consistently was putting pressure on them through Duke and all the way back in Snowman as well. But this is the moment I was talking about.
Oh, this was disgusting, crazy, loving to see from Loud. Also, as I was saying, the way that they push, even when they were taking all the control over A, the utility from Sassy was still there, making sure that no one is going to break the timing onto them, and they are still, even though playing on the attack, the ones in control of how the set points are going. I think that there's still a chance for Liquid to come back for this. Let's not forget that they were the ones choosing to go on this IceBox, even though, you know, they hadn't had the results just yet. So I'm really looking forward to see how the attack is going to work. Exactly, I think the Scream is having a pretty decent performance.
I mean, just real quickly, they picked this map. Have you been convinced as to why you think the reason behind picking this?
I think maybe they didn't inspect the chamber, and I think that SadHack was doing a great job anchoring A, and actually not allowing Scream to maybe take on that, you know, all that information and that pressure on the side. So maybe a little bit upsetting for them, but still, you know, it's just halftime.
Yeah, exactly. Just 2 rounds separating these two teams. Let's see what they can both do, Tom and Midge, in the second half.
You're back.
I'm back.
You're allowed to do the second half.
There's 2 of us now?
Woo!
Let's go.
I did a really good impression in the last half, though. Like,
I mean,
come on. A little bit
listening.
offensive.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly there,
Okay.
but you know,
I tried my best.
We got there. It was quick, it was brief, and really that's all we need to know about it. We're coming on into the second half, Tom, and the attack for Liquid now about to be tested. Loud have been impressive so far, but like we said, decent recovery by Liquid keeps them in contention. What a shot to open things up, though.
Okay, by screens. He hit Navira as well. That first shot hit Navira. Look, Navira's just healing himself up. This guy's gross! How's he managed to get away with that much damage within just 2 shots in the first few seconds? He should have 2 kills realistically. And now, well, it's going to be very difficult for Liquid to take this space.
Shock darts blindly thrown over. Aspas peeks out on the back, does some more good damage. Taking off most of the health that Navira healed up, but Team Liquid, they're keeping their options open here. The turret was watching their back the entire round, but Sadik is watching for that flank to come through, for the rotate to happen. Unfortunately not able to hit the shot, but he'll use it just to reposition. I notice he's bought 6 bullets into his headhunter in this round.
Yeah, absolute baller.
Don't know if he went for all 8 and then fired 2, I'm not sure.
Well, no, he's got a trap down, so...
Oh, he has a trap down. Ah, yes. There we go.
He must have
covering out kitchen.
Just the one.
That's crazy, man. So he's got constant kitchen control this whole round and the ability to one-shot, headshot all 5 players.
Like, if you miss 6 bullets, if anything,
left.
you deserve to get shot anyway.
Oh,
so,
for
you
sure.
know.
Of a headhunter especially, in a pistol round. Yeah, if someone's peeking you down to be along with a classic.
There's 20 seconds left for Liquid to try and get into this B site. And they're not even close. Like, they've got to go running all the way through. I feel like they might have hoped that the rotation's gone back, and it has, but if anything, they're still going to get into position. And they had the luck from Yumpy. That's brilliant. They just waited for that TP to come back through from Sadak, didn't break it, and got a kill for free.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an oversight. I like what Yumpy's going for here. The flank out through mid, late. Or he's actually going to stay inside of kitchen for now.
He's heard them.
He knows exactly what's going on. As they're so focused on breaking this wall and making forward progress, they're not really thinking about their back just yet. Some good timing out of Yumpy on the way through. Now we just wait for that orb to go down, for these players to walk back, and for Yumpy to strike. There it is. His 3rd kill of the round, leaving Les all alone. And he won't be dealt with by Yumpy, but there's more than enough players to close that one out. 6 found for Liquid, and they're going to close in on Loud's lead.
I always find it really interesting the way that Yumpy actually plays this agent, because it's almost like he's a free roam Sova, which I would argue for someone to try and find another one of those. It doesn't really exist. Normally you're like setting up teammates, putting down utility for different people. He's just like, guys, I'm on the lurk. And he's just managed to find incredible timing.
We were talking about Jonas earlier. If you want to talk about someone using utility for themselves, I mean, you know, assists aren't really there. It's whatever, but...
I thought I was the one throwing the shade, but fair enough.
No, that was Tom doing an
impression
of me again.
That was my impression again,
Yeah,
of course.
Sorry about that. I'm back, though. 1 round for Liquid to start things off. They invest decently. They get Spectres out, a Marshall as well. But Loud aren't going to let it go all too easily. I mean, they've got the Headhunter still on Sadik, having not really had an opportunity to fire too many bullets. And he bought up a few more. The Marshall in the hands of Aspas as well. But those weapons have essentially been discounted to start things out. Utility keeping them out of sight, and Loud are going to have to play the retake.
Are they going to check for this? I feel like there's absolutely no chance, and a free kill at least for Sadak. He hasn't actually used the rendezvous yet, so could still look to just escape, but he's got the high ground. He's holding aggressively and knows that basically everybody's rotated off at this point, so the rest of his team are just looking for those far back players.
I like that he's just covering the push-up for now, but he's going to have to reposition to help out his teammates and stopping these players from peeking up on top of Belt. as they go for the defuse. It's just now being tapped to bait out the utility. Good shot by Sadek. See, as soon as Yumpy peeks out, he's there ready for them. 2 kills already under their belt. We'll see what more damage they can do, and it's actually becoming a very winnable round with Link all alone. 1v3 rushing forward. Time's on his side, though. He just needs to pull them off that defuse for a second. Is he going to be able to? It's close, and they don't get it in the end. Oh, man. Well, look. All things considered, pretty good second round out of Loud, even though they don't win.
Yeah, technically that was a Red Bull clutch coming through from Link, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm going to give him that one.
No one's celebrating that one.
Because even if he had died, it still would have been a Red Bull clutch because the Spike didn't have enough time on it. But yeah, no, an incredible round for Loud. Like the fact that they managed to take down all 5 players with barely any investment. The purchase that's going to be coming up for Liquid, if there is a purchase, is going to suck, because normally you'd go for some sort of like eco in this position, but well, actually they are. They're just going for 1 hero rifle and that's it. It's horrible for them.
That's a lovely little shock dart bouncing around. Obviously, you get the double bounce on it, so you get the information if you do destroy some utility, but
that's meant just for the trap. That's a really weird place to stand.
Yeah, it is,
like,
isn't it?
I'm going to stand where the trap would normally be. It's like, no, don't do that.
Pancat has learned his lesson now, I'm sure. It didn't cost him all too much. He's able to heal himself up, but it's going to be shields stripped off him at least. Better start than I think Liquid will realize that they have. But
and Scream with the hero rifle is taking a lot more damage. I wouldn't be overly surprised if he went to give this to someone else. It's not like he's particularly close to his ultimate either, whereas Yumpy has managed to earn his up just by grabbing that orb, so not in a bad spot at all.
The timing was terrible. Sadek pulled off the angle at just the wrong moment. They know exactly where he was going, but they couldn't find him. Sadek barely surviving.
Uh-oh.
These weapons are now going to look to spam and stop the plant, but they can't get there in time. Sure, Solkus goes down, but now the ability to play post-plant gives Team Liquid a lot more to work with these weaker weapons. And look at what Scream is doing. The man with the rifle, starting a flank this late. They've cleared it. They don't think he can possibly come at this point. This could be huge if his teammates can buy enough time.
Yeah, they've got the Nano Swarm, so that's at least managed to delay a little bit, but Les has started to take some aggressive control. He can't kill off the remaining players, and just look, Scream's already in from behind, but they're defusing. And I don't think he's heard it, so he's just sat back, maybe wanting to save the rifle for the next round, realizing it's already done, but yeah, he wasn't there quick enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for him to move forward and risk that rifle, you needed an extra 5 seconds there out of Team Liquid, and it allowed Right to up the pace and pushing back in and taking those duels. Not playing it, you know, passive and scared of the pistols that are in play. Instead, using the weaponry that they have to their advantage and making sure that no late round timings can catch them off. That's the round for Loud that we expected to see them with, but again, we get the rifles out for Team Liquid, and so here's where things can get really interesting.
Yeah, the save, that's what it does. It basically means that Scream actually has a rifle for this round. Again, we're going to see this shock dart coming through. Doesn't actually destroy the trap because they put it a little bit deeper just to make sure, and well, that information can be fed through, whereas Pancata actually now looks to actually take a little bit of extra space. In fact, they've taken a lot of space. They're pushing A, and, well, you can see where Sadek is.
Yeah, he's going to have to TP out of here, destroying the drone first and not overstaying his welcome. A good choice with the entirety of Team Liquid just sitting outside that B site. We're about to blitz him down. So with that anchor used up, he's off the site. They're giving up a lot of control. And with this wall coming out of Viper over on Team Liquid, Link can essentially just knock off all of the map control that Loud have, all of the information that they have. They don't know how many players are moving towards this site, but they are still going to start the rotate, gambling that this is where the hit's coming in. And now they know that for sure.
Oh, and not going to get the plant. That's huge. Now that they've denied that, at least they can start to break the remainder of the wall, and Liquid have to basically reposition completely. You can see the whole team is starting to run back. Les spots this, and with Link there, Aspas is actually going to join him. This cross just became a hell of a lot more deadly, as Aspas could opt to fight them, but they actually think the rest of the team might have gone through, so they're just going to rotate straight to A.
30 seconds left.
Link got a poison orb up there, but it's not going to be used on crossover. He's got to the site now. Snake bite down the back, but that doesn't deter them at all. Aspas just keeps on going. 2 quick frags, leaving it all into the hands of Navera. He needs an ace clutch in 15 seconds. It's not exactly the most doable, and Les makes sure that this is a prime gaming flawless for Loud. A big money-making round, and what an important time to get it at now that Team Liquid had just invested all of their economy into that. Loud are set to potentially push to double digits.
they're so good at just having these combos in. Like, it's happened so many times, the snake bite combo alongside the shock dart, that there was no real chance for the player to get away. You can't react in time because of the slows they're putting down. It's just solid play out from them, and it's always the risk of when going for one of those afterplants that revolves around that wall. Because the second that wall is gone, you go, well, we gotta leave now and we gotta double back. Like, I don't blame Liquid for their decision. I do like the fact that Loud was so ready for it. They had less watching in mid. They then had IceBox rotating with him. There wasn't a lot of risk in that round for Loud, whereas for Liquid, they were running through utility just to try and get a plant.
And you see a big difference in one of the rounds that came out of Team Liquid. You had Snakebite go down, and just as it faded, Shock Dart was coming through when they were over on the defensive side, which meant that the plant could still come through for Loud, only sustaining a small amount of damage. But right here, that timing, both of those pieces of utility hit the floor at the same second. There was zero time to react, nothing that could be done. And a gorgeous round from Loud. With a timeout from Team Liquid, it's not too surprising they want to take a moment to sit back and think about how they're going to approach this. Not a map that they've had a lot of success with in the past. And now as they come on into this one, it's very close to slipping out of their hands.
Yeah, up to big man Sliggy to try and have a little bit of a chat about this one, see what he can come up with for this round. I feel like on IceBox that can be pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, reinvent the wheel here, Sliggy. Good luck.
Yeah, especially like you look at the composition that they're currently running, and it's one that we've been seeing for a ridiculous amount of time with this map now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for them to try and do something that's going to catch Loud off guard, going to be difficult. But they have had relative success when it comes to these pistol rounds, especially with Scream. You know that if he can get a kill or two, maybe grab an orb, that's a Blade Storm for the next round. So it's not impossible, but I would say this is a great chance, not only for Loud to get that economy back to where it was in the last half, but also they're getting very close to a hell of a lot of ults.
That is a very scary prospect as well. If they manage to gain control over the actual economy, the credit economy, and then the ult econ as well, things can get very scary for Team Liquid when they do decide to invest into those rifles. In this round here, Team Liquid taking it slow, but it is going to be a mid-split. By the looks of things, they're actually going to try to creep through to Kitchen. Now, this has been watched by the Trap all of the time, but the big difference in how a lot of teams are playing this, you still have Pancata here pretty much all the time, playing around Kitchen. He's making steps on the way back. Look at that! Scream blocks out the utility, and they have no idea! It's huge! Oh, wow! Rifle retrieved, sight for Team Liquid, and yet again, Tom, massive success on an eco!
Scream is popping with the pistol. I feel like that's an EMEA trait at this point. It's just very good with pistols. It comes with the nature. And while for the remaining players on this team, they've got to try and isolate the jewels, the rest of them are almost just waiting for him to try and get some damage done. Might be able to spot him above, but Sassy hasn't seen him. Just still lurking around the rest of the team. He's hiding within them. He's almost one of them at this point, but IceBox has spotted the traitor. At this point, no, it doesn't really matter. It seems like things are falling apart. Sassy, though, he actually managed to get a little bit more aggressive. Les has found another one, and they just wiped them out in a matter of seconds.
That looked like it was going to be a fumble of a round. In fact, it still might be. That's pretty close. Just about. 1.5 seconds to spare, and on an eco to be decided by just a couple of seconds. Well, it's not what Loud would have wanted. Good thing is they built up their economy, so they're not going to be struggling in that sense. They've got an ult econ to work with, but look at this, man. Both of them as well. And it's just that cloudburst that goes down. It's the timing as well, because Scream heard the player running away. He waited and thought, okay, he probably won't hear it now. Pop down the cloudburst, and they don't react to it in time, if they even heard it at all. That's incredible. And now Team Liquid, look, they're sitting 7-10. This is their chance, though. They've got to go all in on this round.
Yeah, for sure. And if they lose it, I feel like they're going to be slipping away from this map, and their map choice at that. As I said, it was a surprise going in. They tried to punish Pick Loud, and, well, with the depth of map pool of the Brazilian team, it doesn't look like that's been working out so far. We do, however, have Scream on his Blade Storm. We've already seen him pop off with that once, and, well, with his pistols and as well as that. But for now, at least, they're taking it slow. Look at the push on the other side, though, Mitch. They're already down mid.
They've droned it. The only thing I'll say about that is you now, on Team Liquid, know that they have info behind you, but Loud use that as a fake, almost. The drone goes down, and the players instantly move to the A site. Viper's pin in play. They're locking out the rotation with Sadik watching it with an operator. They have a ton of control here on the defensive side. Right now, Liquid think that, oh, well, they thought that they were posturing for the side. Yada, yada, who cares? They've just killed Les through the Viper's Pit. That is down, and so you wouldn't expect them to be moving here, but they are, and Sadic's able to pick up the first. Now setting up for another. He's seen Scream, but he won't hit the shot.
Yeah, I was worried because he got forced off the angle in mid, took a lot of damage, but still managed to reposition, and they didn't expect him to be here. Still actually holding such an aggressive spot. They just haven't spotted this, man! Sadic doesn't manage to connect, though. He gets taken out, but Sassy's there to drop the spike, and the time is ticking. In fact, he might even get a second. In fact, he's tagged both instead. The remaining two of Liquid low on life, and while they are falling apart at the seams, it's left all onto Nabira, and I don't think he has a hope in hell.
Got a lockdown, but definitely not going to be using it here. Headshots need to be found. That's great, but he can't follow up on Aspis. A 140 dink. He survives, and well, Loud walk away with 11. That is heartbreaking for Team Liquid, having invested so much here. This was their chance to keep themselves alive on IceBox. Now it is more than an uphill battle. They are facing into what is an extremely weak round for them. And this play out of Sadic, I mean, it could have found so much more as well. That's the thing. Like, you saw there, he misses the headhunter shots.
That is also, like, one of the riskiest things I've ever seen a player do, because he basically he held mid, watched them cross, then ran aggressively into B, and they just didn't expect him to be there because they saw him take so much damage. Then he TPs back, but then he runs back in again, and that's the point. They hear him use the rendezvous, they go, well, he's not going to be there again, is he? And so nobody clears it on the way past. Big risk, but hey, Sadic just got the reward for it.
He doesn't do that in round 1. He doesn't do it in round 2. He waits until now because he's conditioned them. Oh, when I run away, it's I'm TPing out of here and I'm going to kitchen or spawn and I'll hold from snowman. But no, he was playing aggressive that time. Now he's going aggressive again because the site over on A has been lost. Everything going to be committed here for Team Liquid, throwing themselves at this round. They found some good success to start with.
Spike planted.
Yeah, a solid opener. They managed to use a couple of ults to not only give them the space, but find a kill off the back of it. And
last player standing.
you know, Pancada thought that he could sneak his way through. He couldn't. Scream is waiting and watching, and Sadic, well, although their finances are pretty good still, I think he's just going to opt to try and save this into the next round. A complete turnaround for Liquid. Like, just a pace change, quick push in. But again, it's something that they're not going to be able to do in the next one. Like, you're not going to have the lockdown again. You're not going to have the Hunter's Fury. That was basically their free opening into the site. So it's not the end of the world for Loud, but it is a stepping stone for Liquid.
Yeah, and remember, I said this was going to be a very weak round for Liquid. It certainly doesn't look like it because they walk out with the Prime Gaming flawless, but they came into that round with half shields on a lot of players, with Bulldogs. They had to really fill in the gaps.
Wait, what? I didn't even see anything on the replay.
I'm almost certain he didn't either.
Oh, no, he did. He spotted him before. That's disgusting.
So
Thank you for replaying that twice. It gave my eyes a second to realize what Scream did in a second. Like, he gets it straight away. I need 3 attempts in slow-mo.
While 2 of them, you're even looking at the same spot. You know where the dude is. You still can't see him. It's nuts, man. That round right there for Team Liquid, it was a Hail Mary, investing everything that they possibly could. You know, there is a world where they decide at 11-7 to just play it on a light buy, invest everything they've got in the next one, ultis, weapons, and try to play for OT. They came in confident. It worked out, maybe taking a leaf out of Loud's book in that side. And now, Loud are calling the pause. They want to make sure that they don't let this lead that they've held on to for most of this map. They don't want to let it slip at the last moment.
Yeah, and I think they're still in a very good spot. Like, IceBox, he's going to have a Spectre, but that's because it looks like he's going to play the Blade Storm for the majority of this round. Sadic has his ult as well in the Tour de Force. That's the thing that makes this composition so powerful, is just to break this team economically is nigh on impossible, because if they actually have a few good rounds, they not only build up economy, but then they have ults to bail them out if they start to run out. And those ults are also incredibly powerful at that. But the amount of clips that we've seen out of the Tour de Force this tournament is already just ridiculous. Like, so many of them.
I mean, not only the Tour de Force, we've seen so many of those quick switches over to headhunters yield massive value, whether it's off the base of an operator or the Tour de Force. The quick switch and the time to fire on it is so crazy. Ah, yes, he has the Blade Storm. I was going to ask
Yeah,
what
yeah.
IceBox was doing with his life, but yes, okay. Blade Storm to play with and a Stinger
He's not
back
planning
up.
on coming back. Let's put it this way. Like, where this man currently is, this is a solo mission.
Well, it's not really, because he's got Sadik with him as well, the tour de force.
But Sadak can just TP out.
Yeah, well, that's the big difference, right? You're not going to be able to dash through the wall, unfortunately. If you're a Jet, you got to stay aggro there. They're not going to find anything, and it looks like, in a way, Team Liquid, whether they have a read on it or not, they are avoiding the main danger in this round.
Yeah, especially with less being basically alone. Now, again, we're going to see this drone through mid, which doesn't really spot anything, and that instantly pulls a rotation. It means they don't have to hold under the tube anymore because, well, they've spotted that there's no one near the tube.
They've got the ability to play retake on B. Now, obviously, you've got interesting. You've got a trap right down below them to cover when they cross out. I wonder what the reaction is from Loud, though, because they have 4 players in position right now. And, okay, there's the trap. They're now moving towards the site, so you're going to put a snake bite down. There is a poison orb as well. It's not activated just yet.
I like this adaptation. They've really struggled, but they're still going to struggle here. Yumpy trying to turn the tide. He gets absolutely nothing, and Link's flank is just a little bit late. He doesn't even connect. Any chance of this round again is just seemingly slipping away, and, well, I think they already knew where he was, but now can confirm he isn't even able to hold in a spot which will do anything. Sassy able to close, and Loud make that one look easy.
That is a very impressive round for Loud for a number of reasons. The way that they play so passive on the B side, the fact that, you know, when we compare some of Team Liquid's early rounds, their B holds often meant that Solkus went down in the first couple of seconds, and the players around yellow...
Much more aggro.
Absolutely. Right here, Loud, they take a step back, even though you have someone spotting it, he's running back, taking his orb with him, setting up post plants, and the fact that that orb is on the ground, and they've already seen a snake bite come through, it sort of builds up to Liquid saying, let's take a little bit more control, let's play aggressive. And like you said, I like that play. It's a good play, but they didn't know how many players were already waiting for them.
IceBox is going to get tagged up close. It doesn't matter, though. His teammate of Sadak has already got the pick onto Navira. It's looking like the beginning of the end for this first map, and well, with this aggressive position, there's potential. No, they actually smoke him off. So they do actually get the res through without too many problems. However, there's still 3 players waiting on this site for Liquid.
Who says Jet isn't a smoker, you know? There's proof right there.
Oh, you want to change it to controller, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Primary controller. No problem. 4 rounds between them. Team Liquid have a really tough road ahead of them, and even more so if IceBox is able to do that. We've already had an operator pick, the res equalized it, but we're back into Loud's advantage, and Sadik is set up yet again, ready to TP out. He'll tank, oh no, what a shot! Little bit of damage connected, good position, but Team Liquid still end up coming ahead in those duels. And as they fight for the site, I think they're gonna get a plant for free.
Welcome to my
They've
world.
also got the Viper's Pit after plant with vision as well, and Jumpy already picking off another sneak through, but IceBox has managed to find one. Looking for a little bit more, but Link's gone through the other side. If he gets this kill, the Viper's Pit is gone, and actually the spam from IceBox will find another. Now the afterplant is still in play. You've got this close position from Yuppie, who's expected him to do that. 3rd kill on the round already, and of course you've still got those nano swarms available to deny any sort of defusal. IceBox desperately looking for the spot of his opponent, but he's found absolutely nothing. In fact, he's playing ring around a Rosie with a player that's not even there. It's a complete fallback from the remaining players, and they still have utility to play with. He has no choice but to duck out of this round, and Liquid will live to fight another day.
Especially with that operator on the floor, it's worth just picking up. You know, Loud aren't in that poor of a spot economically, especially with IceBox saving, but the reality is you got 3 more rounds to play, and you never know what that can look like. Definitely the right call up against Util, up against an operator, and in the hands of Yumpy, who is 22-16. He's having a better time with this operator than IceBox is on the Jet. And I mean, it just comes back to really show you why it's, you know, any other team. I'm trying to think of absolutely any other team that I would look at, see the Sova with an op,
I'll be honest.
the Jet without, and go, oh, that's a good idea.
It's not the same. But if Nuke picked it up, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, well, okay. Again, though, we're picking out players who could do anything.
Yeah.
You could, if Nuki picks up a stinger every round, I'm okay with it, you know? Like, we can't really argue with that.
I like how they moved the trap back into a spot that would be harder for Scream to smoke, just in case he tried to do that again.
Yeah.
It's hidden around the corner, so it will be an insta-pop. They've managed to force out Sadak in the early round position. Again, our controller of Scream tries to smoke off that cross and almost bait them into thinking someone has gone past. However, they have not.
Someone's going to think you're serious, Tom. You're going to get a tweet after this.
Oh my god.
Right here.
Jet is not
Actually,
a controller.
it's a duelist, man.
What a noob. That bit's true.
Gold casters. That bit's true, too. For you, at least.
Gold's pretty, man. You know?
Gold is pretty. It's the prettiest metal. It's the prettiest metal. Oh, here we go. 3 rounds between them. Team Liquid mounting the B attack. We're going to see the plant attempted. Sadek still up top. An aggressive wall out of them. That's going to get a plant for sure. Maybe not for sure, but they've dealt with Sadek. And then Sulcus decided he wanted a little bit more.
Yeah, I wanted to try and take them down. I guess maybe expecting that there was no escape. The problem is they've got the rest, so Sadek is right back from the fray. Yumpy for the swing, and he's going to win that battle. Puts him back in the grave, and now this time, Link actually has the timing, but it's a double rotation. They've got Scream in behind as well, so even if they kill off Link, he can be as aggressive as he wants. He can fight all the way forward if he wants to, and Scream will just be waiting in behind. The fact is, Link might be enough on his own. He's just battling versus Pancada, and finally, he has fallen, but the time is already gone. Scream's like, don't worry, guys, I'm coming in on the flank, but it's already over, and
Enemy remaining.
he got there in the end.
He did. That's why
he
he
normally
wanted to
laser smokes.
That's why he wanted to fight someone from behind that time. His aim was a little off, I guess. That's a first. Take a picture of that one. 2 rounds to go before Team Liquid can hit an overtime, and it's starting to feel a lot more doable. It's not like these rounds are being decided by massive plays individually. This is a different game plan that's worked out, even with Sulcus. And I think the reason he wanted to get aggressive was the fact that they had the res online, tried to take the space ahead, maybe catch them off guard on the way through. Again, not a bad idea out of Team Liquid, and I like the aggression they go for. It's just that Loud seem to constantly already have 3 players or more around this side of the map, and so they're ready to catch that aggro.
But that's why I like the reposition of the plant, because it's a little bit safer than the standard wall, which everybody on their team has been spamming all the way through. It's just the previous time they were somehow ready for that one as well. This time, though, looking a little bit more standard. IceBox, we haven't seen him play the operator too much. It's mostly been on Sadek, but he's taken the reins in this round and is just looking to try and dominate on that A site. He's going to come under pressure, though, but he might be able to avoid the drone. He's just hiding behind the wall, but he has eventually been spotted out.
He's going to be able to destroy that drone. Scream really wanted to take him down there, man. He is running it down. Link has been flanking again and again. Loud seem to be ready for it. They're still being quite cautious of this angle and of the orb. As the orb goes down, that seems to change. Now they focus on the site itself and getting back in there to retake. Of course, Link can't actually push up just yet. There's a trap down there waiting for him, and it'll detect him if he tries to make his way through. He's going to destroy it and run forward. They're now looking at their back, trying to take down these flankers. They get one, but again, that second... Oh, no, Scream! He's whiffed it out. This could be dangerous. He goes down, and it's already being defused halfway. Yep, he's going to run in. He'll get there just in time. Oh, no! The Sadek gets it done. Does he have enough time?
Oh, my
yes,
God.
He does. 13 to 10. Loud have gotten away with murder in that round. Team Liquid really let that one